pan-fried bread dipped in honey? Oh, yum. And it's really not hard to make. I'll show you how.
Oh boy, I love making pan-fried bread.
We're going to start with 1.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast. I buy it in bulk and store it in the freezer. It's a lot cheaper that way and it keeps a very long time. 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 cup of warm water. You want it to be kind of bathtub warm. If it gets too hot, it will kill the yeast. Now let's whisk so that we completely dissolve that yeast. Now this is going to set while we get the other things ready. 1 1/4 cup flour or 6 ounces, 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Dump that into the yeasty water and stir a little bit. And let's add a tablespoon of olive oil. Mix thoroughly until it's pulling away from the sides of the bowl. To make our dough nice and smooth and stretchy, we're going to knead the dough. And how we do that is we just put plenty of flour on the mat, put the dough down, fold it in half, and then smash it together with the palm of the hand. Then we turn it just 1/4 of a turn, fold, smash, turn, fold, smash, and keep doing that until it's nice and smooth. We'll just set the dough in a bowl while we get our oil ready. For fried bread, I'm going to be using a high temperature, so I like to use avocado or canola oil, which doesn't smoke as easily at high temperatures. I put about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch on the bottom. While the oil heats up, we're going to work on our dough. I'm going to cut it in half, then cut it in half again, then each piece half again to make 8 pieces. Sprinkle out a little flour every time, rub it around, squish it out, turn it over, squish it out. Now it's got flour on the top and the bottom. Put flour on the rolling pin and then sprinkle that mat every so often with flour. If it starts to get a little sticky, flip it over and we're rolling again. We want it to be quite thin and that way they'll puff up really nice. It's not rippling yet, so I'm going to just keep rolling these. And whenever you have hot oil on the stove, you want to be right close at hand. You don't want to let that set and start smoking. No fires in the kitchen, please. I'm checking my pan and I can see that little rippling effect and know that it's ready. Let's start with our first piece. When you put them in, you want to be careful that you get fairly close to the pan so it doesn't splash up on you. You can see it's brown around the edges. We're going to flip it over. And once we get started, it's going to heat up real quick. We're going to put some paper towels folded onto a plate. And that's where I'm going to put my bread. Okay, let's see how it looks. Oh, nice. Okay, there's our first one. And I just use the microwave as a hot box. That will hold the heat in. Once the oil really heats up, it only takes about 1 second on each side. Beautiful. Goes in our hot box. Those little pieces keep raising. So just before I put them in the pan, I give them an extra roll just to make sure they're plenty thin. If I start getting short on oil, I just add a little bit more. It doesn't take long for it to heat right up and we're ready to go again. And yum, there we go. One of our favorites is to serve it with honey. I just pour out a little honey and then we get some of that pan-fried bread, dip it in. Very good. This is Lena Shea, an Iowa mom. Thanks for watching. If you'd like to see more, go to youtube.com/an Iowa Mom videos. Then click on the video tab for a whole list.